Hi. Hey, all right. Hey, everybody. It is Anna Bangham here, your favorite Scrum Master. If I'm not your favorite Scrum Master yet, don't worry about it. I got you. All right. Because by the time I'm done sharing all this good stuff, you're going to love me. All right. But besides the point, today I really want to focus on helping people to see how they can transition into this Scrum Master role. All right. I'll go through some of, I think, 5 roles that I've done in the past and just to draw some correlation in how it has molded me to become the Scrum Master that I am today. And the hope of me doing that is so that you can reflect in the stuff that you're doing in your day to day and see how that also can relate to the Scrum Master. Where I think that anybody, and if you really put your mind to it, you can become a Scrum Master, but you also just got to know how you fit into that bubble. Okay. So the overall goal that I have done so far is I am a Scrum Master. That's my current role. But the different roles that I have had, one, two, three, four, five, has prepared me with the skill sets that I have learned from each of those roles to become the person that I am today, right? So I would just start with the first job that I had when I was in high school. I work at Burger King, and I still to this day it haunts me. Okay, I still have this. Hey, welcome to Burger King. How can I help you, sir, ma'am? I was working at Burger King. I was a cashier. All right. So the three roles that I have identified while I was there. Per se, comparison to a Scrum Master role, right? There was the area manager, which was like above a little bit above my supervisor. I would say he was the product owner, right? And then my supervisor, in-store supervisor, was the Scrum Master. And my particular role where I identify myself to be is that I was the developer, the cashier, right? Why did I think that? I think that because what I had to do with really is execution. I was just executing what was already planned and to make sure that our customer get the best service that I could possibly give them, right? So I just want to call that out. Okay. The skill sets that I learned, intelligent. I learned emotional intelligence because when dealing with customers, everybody comes with their own different attitude all the time. And some of the things that I had to do with was to manage my attitude so that I can be able to still smile even when they're cursing me out to give them what they need. Okay. And conflict resolution. There are times where conflict will arise between myself or customer or between another coworker and customer. And I was there to be able to de-escalate the situation and make sure at the end of the day the customer was satisfied. Another thing that I really learned from that experience was collaboration with my supervisor and the cooks, right? So we all three had to work together in order for us to be able to um, ensure that customers come back, customer retention, and also customer satisfaction. That was the biggest goal, right? Of why we were doing what we're doing. So that's one example and skill sets that I learned I took from working from Burger King to now being the Scrum Master. Another example that I can think of is when I was a residential advisor, an RA, right? I was assigned to a hall. And in that case, I was making sure that the students that were assigned to that hall was having a decent experience as possible, maintaining order, ensuring that, I was also doing execution work, right? So I would just go through with the roles. The roles that I had there was like a program area lead coordinator who I would say would be the product owner that tells us what is expected of us from us. And then we had the Scrum Master would be the residential advisor. That was my direct supervisor, would be the Scrum Master. And then the developer would be me, right? I was an RA. So I was still dealing with that execution, making sure that we carry out whatever plan that was expected of us. It's not the matter of we decide how we wanted to do that. We decide how to build relationship with our students on the floor. We decided what activities that we wanted to do, how to facilitate activities or whatever else that was happening, and problem resolution. That was something that I also a skill set that I learned from there is like I needed to figure out to deal with problems on the floor between roommates that were not getting along, and understanding when to escalate it when it's not happening or it's not going as planned. And facilitator, I learned to facilitate relationship, working agreement, right? Like sometimes students will come there and not getting along, and I'll have to learn to do that. I needed to do activities once a week or once a month. I can't remember really, but it was activities that was going to help foster a relationship between the people that were staying together. And the people I would say we were serving were students, college students, to make sure that they have the best experience that they could possibly have. While I was in college, I was also in the military. So I was a staff sergeant, and just identifying that role, there was three roles again. There's the officer who actually has the vision and tell us what the mission is, right? And then there was the sergeant. I am a sergeant, so therefore I am still playing the role of a scrum master, right? And then there's the junior enlisted, which would be the developers. They're the one who execute the work. So I take information from the officers, tell us this is what we're supposed to do, and now we communicate it with the developers to ensure that do we have the resources that they need in order for them to be successful at their task. So they did the execution work, I did the coordination. So I'm doing the coordination. And the people we're serving, of course, we're serving the country. And some leadership skills that I have learned from there was that situational leadership, assertiveness, and also just gaining executive presence. When I'm in a room, expectation is that I would be taken as such or executed as such, right? Another role that I played was ID Tech, Health and Safety Coordinator. The people we're serving there was campers that came there to have like a summer camp experience. The role that I identified myself playing was that I was once again a Scrum Master. We had a program director. I would say that person was the PO, and health and safety coordinator. That would have been me, the Scrum Master role, and instructors. So there was developers. Like those are the people who are executing the plan, teaching the students the nitty gritty that they needed to know in order for them to upskill or have a better understanding as far as like the computer skill set that they were supposed to be achieving. And my role really was just maintaining order, ensuring that I was coordinating activities for them and safety, the student safety, and communicating to the program, the PO, if there was anything that needed to be escalated from a health perspective, right? The skill sets I think I learned to help with accountability, enforcing accountability among the staff, the students, making sure that they're not doing anything that they're not supposed to be doing, coaching and shedding from interference, right? Making sure that, hey, if it's time for the student to play, that's the time for them to play, and they will not be tasked to be, oh, you need to come do this X, Y, and Z aside from what they're supposed to be doing, right? We're directing students. If somebody was not behaving correctly, I will redirect them. And those are things that we would need to do as Scrum Masters in our role. We would redirect our team members if there's something that they were supposed to be doing or we've agreed on, and now they're doing something else, right? That's just one there. And then the last one here I want to talk about is social work. I used to be a social worker for DCF, Department of Children and Families, and the people we serve were children and families. I would say the three roles that I identified was the area program lead, again, the PO, the supervisor was the Scrum Master, and social worker was the developer. So I was playing that developer role, making sure execution, I was executing whatever it is that I needed to communicate to the families so that they can change their ways of working. One of the things that I really do identify with this whole, especially, was continuous improvement, because when families come into the care, we are assessing them to ensure that by the time they're done, right, maybe 90 days they're done from the program, they will be better than when they came in, right? So some of the skill sets I think I learned from there was servant leadership, right? Going above and beyond to ensure that I was taking care of the families or the children or the teen, right? Removing blockers from the family's way, maybe outreach program, helping them to be able to get resources to help them, picking them up, right? Whatever it is that was going to get out of in their way, it was something that I was finding resources to help them remove that blocker. Shielding from interference, right? Maybe a father wants to come back into the mother's life, but in order for that to happen, they needed to go to counseling, right? So making sure that they're not interfering from the mother's healing process or the mother trying to regain themselves. So we have conversations to ensure that that was happening. So I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to give perspective because I know sometimes it can be a miss and people having challenges in deciding how their particular role that they do right now relates to Scrum. There's just so much more. And in the future, I do plan to break this out a little bit more and talk through the nitty gritty of, being a cashier. What are some of the things exactly that I saw can correlate and also translate. So once again, I hope you enjoy your time here with me. I try to keep these videos really short and sweet because I think it's the best way for you to really retain the information that I'm sharing, right? So once again, I appreciate you. Thank you. Keep watching. Like, share, and comment.